swear my hair doesn't look that bad because I'm threatening to cut it. Crafter's audacity has extended now. I actually have this with pretty much anything that's remotely skilled. I see and I'm like, I can learn to do that, I'm pretty sure. And actually I do have a little bit of reason why I believe I can do this, and that is I do cut Harry's hair and have done since lockdown. I learned how to do it in lockdown, and then when we moved to New York it was too expensive for us to get a haircut there. I understand space costs money and therefore it's going to cost more, and yeah, I get it, but we were living paycheck to paycheck, we couldn't afford it. So I carried on cutting his hair and still do. Literally cut his hair last week. I have curly hair. It's not always that curly on camera because I also cycle to and from work, so this goes under a helmet. So I pretty much don't style my hair during the week because what's the point? I can do a full blowout kind of, it's not blowout, it's a diffuser moment and really exaggerate my curls and it looks great. I do it for things like weddings and date days and that kind of thing. So it is curly. It's also kind of greasy and sweaty at the moment because I've just come home. It is hair wash day, so I want to cut my hair. The reason being is it doesn't actually look that bad because it's been under the helmet, but it's actually in that what I call triangle head stage. That's where it kind of drags straight from the root and then goes curly and it kind of forms a triangle. And the only real way to combat that is to have shorter layers here and then you kind of get a more rounded look. So my hair's now long enough, I think, that I'm going to try a butterfly cut. I know they are not on trend anymore, but the butterfly cut does add those short layers, which I think will go really well with my curly hair. What you need to do for a butterfly cut is wet your hair. It's hair wash day, so I'm just going to jump in the shower, obviously turning this off first, and then I'll bring you back when my hair is wet and I have scissors. I'm out the shower, my hair is absolutely sodden, like my back is so wet. I need to separate my hair into two sections, very particular sections. I'm using this curl define brush because this like makes it nice and smooth. I really comb through it with like a shower comb. First things first, I need to separate the front and the back. I've got to kind of say why, like I feel like I need a haircut. That's the main reason why I'm doing this. But like, I can afford to get my hair cut now. The thing is, I've had good and bad experience with haircuts. Running the apex, which is here, and dragging that down to behind the ears. Of course, I'm doing the side you can't see, so that's clever of me. But yeah, I have had my hair cut since moving back to the UK. The thing is, I've not had the best experience with getting my hair cut here. Not just in Cardiff, but I had the same when I went to Nottingham. I did find a good hairdresser that I really liked, but one time I booked in and she wasn't available. I had to book in with someone else, and I went in and they're like, can I straighten your hair before I cut it? I'm like, nope. I said yes. That's my part. I did say yes because I was like, I needed my hair cut at that point and I didn't know what else to do. But it did annoy me because I'm like, I like this hairdresser because, or I liked my hairdresser because they knew how curly hair works, and it does seem like there's a lot of people, a lot of hairdressers who don't know how curly hair works. And it's like, it's fine, you don't have to be a curly hair specialist, but don't take on curly hair clients then. I was hearing about the curl by curl cut when I was in New York, so I thought, you know what, let's see if I can't. What the hell happened there? I managed to twist some of this section into the back here. When I moved to Cardiff, I looked up a place and there is somewhere that does curl by curl haircuts. I'm not naming them because every time I've gone, I've had a different person. The first time I went, it was a fantastic experience. I really enjoyed it. The person they put me with, it was literally there last week, and I was like, oh, excellent. I'm gonna have to find someone else here who does this technique. Pretty much all of them do the technique, so it's not actually that difficult. And then I did book with someone else and they were more expensive, and it's like, you know what, it's fine, it's because they're more expert. It's okay, but I don't get my hair cut that often. I was getting cut every 6 months or so because I was growing it out. Because of that, they didn't have the books open far enough, and so I had to always book online, which meant I always started someone else's. Well, I suppose I could have phoned up, but I like to book online. It bugs me when I have to phone up. Right, so this one's got to go I think this is just really short hair. That's not going to go in the pony, unfortunately. Got to go as if you're a unicorn. There, I think. I haven't got the thickest hair. It's curly, but it's not that thick. Yeah, I always had someone different. And the last time I went, this is like a great look for this. I paid for a curl by curl cut, but he was more traditional, and I didn't get a curl by curl cut. And he hit me twice on the head, the brush. So I spent 60 quid to be hit on the head and not get what I wanted. So I'm trying this. This one's got to go right to your apex, straight to the top. Oh, okay, so this is where we're at. Oh, it's not quite far enough forward. I think usually you start with this one, but I don't want anything off my overall length, so I'm going to start with this one and then match the amount with this one. Proper hairdressing scissors. Now I've just got to find the shortest layer in here. Maybe don't do this with scissors in your hand, Becky, that would be silly. There you go, there's the shortest layer. Then you've got to direct with the head, so about there. I'm going to take that off. I've been wanting to do this for like weeks, and now I'm hesitant. No going back. There's my little hair, and we are about there, I would say. About 4 inches, 3 or 4 inches. Let's put that one back. And this one, you want to follow, over directed. Does that look the same? I hope so. Yeah, moment of truth. Still feels long, so I didn't take any of the length, which is good. Oh my goodness, it's so much lighter. See, I cut it middle part. I never do a middle part because curly hair is a lot more unpredictable, but I cut it so no matter where it falls, it doesn't look stupid. So it's now all combed back. I'm just gonna comb through again with this one, and I'm gonna go middle parting. Sorry, middle parting. That's not middle. There we are. Ooh. Right, there is some major disconnect. I think I cut more off the front than I did the back. Not too bad. That's the first time I've ever tried slide cutting, so that looked awful, I'm sure. See, this side actually looks better. Maybe I cut one ponytail more to one side than the other. Okay, now this is usually where people style it, but like I said, I don't tend to style, or I have 2 ways of styling it. And also, being so curly, it usually takes about 2 weeks to settle down and actually look like what it's going to look like normally. Because suddenly my head's like, oh, I can curl up now. So it's not actually a good reflection of the cut. So I'm going to style this how I do normally midweek, which most of all, I put a little bit of cream in my hair. I do like the Wavetech that I'm so glad, because when I was living in New York, not obviously, but when I lived in New York, this was not available in the UK, and I fell in love with this in New York. I was like, please, 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 please. And just as I moved home, even though I bought loads and brought back with me to make sure I had some, they released in the UK. So Wavetech, I love it. It is my favourite. I do a couple squirts of that all through the hair. Curly hair, it's very dry. And then all I'm gonna do is a bit of a shake upside down and a scrunch. And we'll see how she dries. It might be 2 or 3 washes to let it settle, and then I will do a proper styling of it as well and show you that as well. So my I'm going work style and I'm going out style. Before I do that though, I wanted to have a look at the back. Oh yeah, I've added loads of layers in there. Phone's really difficult to do this in. I'm intrigued to see how it dries. The next day, and I haven't brushed it yet. Well, I don't brush it. I pick the curls out with a comb. Upside down as well. I just find if I don't do this, particularly if I'm cycling, the wind kind of sets the knots in, so I do end up having a more fluffy look most of the time. Right, it's gonna be crazy. Oh, not as bad as I thought. What do we think? I'm quite chuffed with that actually. That's the front anyway. The little fringe is a little bit short for me, but you know, hair grows, so. Shall we have a look at the back? There's a lot more layers in there, a lot more body. I think I didn't do a bad job. So, what do you think? I will do the real styling at some point, but yeah, this is how it's gonna look on a day-to-day, and can you see it's a lot more rounded, which that was the aim. I'm actually really chuffed. This is looking good. And like I said, it takes a few weeks to settle, so a couple weeks, and then it's gonna look like it's normal. So I didn't rub in my sun lotion because I'm pale, I need it. It's wash day again. This is how my hair's been looking. This has been 2 days under a helmet, so we're not fully all the time. I am hoping I have enough time to do a full styling moment for you, but I need to jump in the shower first. I will be using the XMondo Wavetech for this. I didn't wash it with this before. I washed it with, I can't even remember the name of it, Sheer Moisture. This was on offer, so I tried it. My actual second favourite shampoo is Maui. I really like that one. All curly hair products seem to be really expensive for no reason, I feel. But XMondo is my favourite. And because I'm going to do a full glam moment, I'll do the full, I'll be in my pyjamas for the reveal, but I'll do the full styling for you, hopefully. Do a bit of face first and then I'll carry on with my hair. So I'm still putting scar gel. The journey of that is on TikTok. Like when I fell over and mutilated my face. That was clever of me. I'll be using this for quite some time. First things first, this is conditioning mist. So it's not quite as thick as the cream. I like the cream, but if I'm doing a full style, I want as much volume as possible, and the cream's a little bit heavier. So I just douse it in the mist, and then I'm gonna comb through. This is just a shower comb. Being a bit brave in doing this with my towel. After that, and after a quick comb through, that's the cream. Where's my foam? Oh, it's up there. Got it all over the place. Wavetech Wave Foam, just the regular one. I have not tried the extra hold. So you actually do want a decent amount. I might put more. Honestly, it might sound like it's going to be crunchy. It's not. This stuff is not crunchy. Obviously you could get there, but you do want to have enough that you kind of feel it in your hair. And then it's the Diffon brush. So these kind of clips are really helpful here. I'm sectioning, and then with my Diffon brush, it's called rake and shake. That's the rake and that's your shake. Rake and shake. And then you just carry on to the top of your head. I don't take super thin sections. I haven't got I've already noticed how much less hair I've got from cutting off the other night in the shower. Using the brush side of it, it helps lower the amount of frizz. I don't know if that's specifically designed like that, but I definitely have less frizz when I do this. And now this section at the front, do a bit different. I'm gonna brush it forward and then section out a little bit, rake and shake backwards. Natural hair all curls in one direction, so that actually means if it's natural, it's gonna curl away from your face on one side and towards your face on the other. You can of course manipulate this with curlers or pins or whatever and force it to dry, or even heat if you want to use styling tools. So that's all my raking and shaking. And now I'm going to scrunch. So I'm going to flip my head upside down. I don't think I'm going to be able to film that, but flip it, scrunch it wet. You can hear it. Still wet. And then I'm just going to scrunch it with my towel. I do want a microfiber towel. I don't have one. I just use the regular one. I'm just gentle. And that's to get as much moisture at this stage out of it. So I'm going to flip over. So we're raked, shaked and scrunched. So I'm just going to put pyjamas on and then I'll show you the diffusing, because it's time for the acrobatic portion of this video. It's a better lighting. This lighting's rubbish in this room. Okay, so we are about 80% dry. You can already see the volume in there. I let it dry naturally for the last little bit. I do try and sort out which way the hair goes, because otherwise it's gonna constantly annoy me. Bring it down. But yeah, I let it finish drying that last 20% will also naturally, where's my comb? And then I will pick it out with my fingers and then I'll show you. This is soaking. I don't want to just dry my hair. I don't want to make it wet again. This is just dried and then, or 80% dry, and then when it's fully dry, I will rake my fingers through and you'll see it in its full glory. But you can see that hairdresser, you tried to tell me I haven't got curly hair, I've just got wavy hair. Really? It's curls. Right, it's definitely dry now. I'm about to go to bed. So I'm just gonna brush it out with my fingers. I can do this upside down as well. Sometimes you can also rejuvenate, or I do anyway, with the conditioning mist. I've got a real loop at the top there. That's it combed down. Well, kind of. Not really doing a great job. There's all the curls. Nice and defined. My scalp gets itchy after like 2 days, so I wash it every other day. It's kind of the reason why I don't do this too much, because I don't want the heat damage, but also it's just so much effort. And it only lasts me 2 days because, not because of my hair, because it would last longer, because my scalp, I just cannot leave it longer than that. But yeah, I can sometimes rejuvenate it with the mist. And I also have, but I have literally no idea, oh, it's there, I see it now. Wave Revival Mist. That one. So yeah, I like to spray it with this conditioning mist just to like soften it again, help tease out any knots, and then the curl revival, just give that a scrunch through on day 2. And then yeah, we're usually good. There's my hair. And yeah, I think I like it. I think I did an okay job. I don't think there's any obvious glaring mistakes. The test will be my family, I suppose, because I didn't tell them that I was cutting my own hair. Actually, I kind of hinted to one of my sisters who has dabbled in her own hairdressing. Like, she actually cut my hair during lockdown, that I was going to do it, and she was like, what, you're going to do it? Like, yeah, here's the video I was going to follow. So we'll see if she what she says. She'll be the scrutiny, the judge. I'm tired, it's bedtime. Night night. Morning. I have slept, not with this on, I just washed my face and stuff, so I've slept on my hair last night. So I've got a nice bit of bed hair going on right now. But basically this is how, after I've slept on it, what I do. So I find my mist and I give just a little spray, just to loosen up any knots or whatever in there, and then fingers. Make sure your hands are clean, because if they're greasy, then you're gonna just add grease to your hair. Yeah, so if you want to find nice, well, at least if you've got my curl type, you want to find nice curls, you just finger comb it. It will calm down a little bit, but there we have it. I'll come back and show you when I'm dressed and try and film a proper little reveal.